Hi there, it's Metaverse Zing. Welcome back to the channel. I'm not going to do a lot of node videos as there's already enough content out there. Just going to do a follow up because a lot of exciting things have happened since the last video, and I've got some great news for the Boystown node too. First of all, let's do a health check of the nodes I had previously discussed. Number one, Century City. Love this node, love the people. The building completion has increased from 17% to 19% in a week, and there are 100 more which are still in progress. So by the time all of these are done, we'll be at 34% building completion rate. Compared to last week, the USD floor has slightly come down to $235 from $239, and the UPX floor is down to 250,000 UPX from 265,000 UPX. So a slight decrease in both. This is often seen when we're so close to a new city release, as people are trying to sell their properties to get more UPX so that they can mint fresh properties in the new city release. Which is not a bad strategy because as people sell these properties and get some UPX, they can use this UPX to mint fresh properties in the new city release, hoping they'll make three times, four times profit from that. All in all, Century City still looks fantastic, and I'm surely here for the long term. One more interesting thing that I wanted to do this time was looking at the node leaderboard. You know, who owns the most properties in the node? For that, I'm going to Apex Spark Exchange website built by Mossy Jake, and I'm just going to have the filters here Los Angeles, and the neighborhood is Century City, and I hit submit. Look at that. So Jasmil's, so Century City is a small neighborhood with about 680 properties, I think, and Jasmil's owns 76 of them. And then there's David Walker, who owns 26, McCallie 23, Busterwood 22, Lil Apple 17, Shackleton 15, etc., etc. If you look at this, most of these are from the Century Citizens leadership team. The team is surely going all in on the Century Citizens node. Second thing, Jasmil's here owns 76 properties, and we know that the floor right now is 250,000 UPX. Let's say if Jasmils were to sell all of his properties for say 200,000 UPX because let's say that he wanted to be very competitive and wanted to make sure that all of his properties are sold, then he would earn 15 million UPX from all of these properties sale. That's huge. That's the power of the node. But that's not what he's here for, right? He's here for the long-term game. He's gonna develop the neighborhood into something big. Number two, Beverlywood. Beverlywood is not doing bad at all. It was 23% minted last week, and now it's already 36% minted. And it's a large neighborhood of 2,200 properties. Given Century Citizens brand, you might argue that it should have been like 70% minted by now, right? Just that people aren't in LA, they're either in Queens, the latest city, or they're probably in Chicago or San Francisco or Manhattan for treasure hunting. So if people had to come all the way to LA to mint properties and then go back, it's going to be very expensive. Plus, people are also saving money for the next city release. So people are probably going to hold on to this for now and maybe come back to it later. That's why it generally makes sense to start a node when the city has just released. The hype is there, there are a lot of unminted properties, and the people don't have any reason to move to a different city unless it's a tier 5 and people want to treasure hunt in tier 1 city, right? But Century Citizens had their reasons for this because they wanted Century City to be the business district of Los Angeles and Beverlywood to be the residential area. For that, both of these neighborhoods, both the nodes have to be in the same city so that the people can commute from one place to another. Anyway, back to Beverlywood. Big jumps from 23% minted area to 36% in a week. Most of this minting was done in this avocado park. I think it's this area surrounding the avocado looking park. Just a few properties left. I think major developments are going to start here and then spread out. I didn't buy anything in the avocado park because the unminted floor here is about 50,000 UPX, and I was getting cheaper property for 34,000 UPX outside of it, and I'm kind of on a budget to make room for the next city release. But anyway, if you have the UPX, if you have the bandwidth, please definitely purchase here because this is always going to be the focus of the node, at least to start with. Another reason why the unminted floor is still 36,000 UPX compared to 35,000 UPX last week is because people have been actively trying to mint properties in this area, which is slightly more expensive. So you see the minted area going up, but you don't see the floor moving up as well. Lastly, let's check out the node leaderboard. And the winner is Abdullah86 SA with 94 properties. He has been pretty active in Beverlywood last week, and that's how he gained 12% ownership in this neighborhood. Next up is McAllie with 70, and then Tosshead, and then Supra 58. Number 3, Portage Park. Love this node as well. The building completion is at about 11.5%, understandably slow given the size of the neighborhood, 15,000 properties, right? The unminted properties aren't moving fast either. I think last week we had 23 unminted properties, and the cheapest one was going to cost you 93,000 UPX. This week we still have 19 properties and the cheapest one is for 126,000 UPIX. Floor wise, not a lot has happened. We're still at $10 and 13,000 UPIX. Again, because people are not in the mood to buy stuff right now, but would very much like to sell their stuff to make room for the next city. Let's look at the leaderboard. Look at Ben 68, owns 994 properties in Portage Park. There are about 15,000 properties in the neighborhood, and he owns 6.7% of them. I hope he buys or mints 6 more to complete the 1,000 mark. Let's go, Ben. Number 4, Holliswood. Another great note. Radish has been very generous to people who have been completing their buildings here. I've also got my 16,000 UPIX for this townhouse. Thanks for that, Radish. The building completion has increased from 7% to 9%. That's roughly 80 properties. Another 133 properties are still in progress. With this incentive scheme, is definitely going to bleed a lot of money, a lot of UPIX. The floor hasn't changed much since last week. The cheapest USD property right now is $60, and the cheapest UPIX property is roughly 69,000, 70,000 UPIX. Let's look at the node leaderboard. Blansky is much ahead with 62 properties and 7% ownership. The second best is Jaw 15 with 39 properties and 4.6% ownership. Radished currently owns 11 properties so far, but he does have plans to buy more properties in the future, just that he's not able to with the ongoing incentive scheme that he's running, which is actually a lot. If let's say, with roughly 200 completed properties by the end of June, he would have spent about 3 million UPEX in terms of incentives. Number 5, Midtown Terrace. I'm so happy that they were finally able to achieve 50% building completion. It's really huge. Floor wise, nothing has changed really. We're still at $1,000 in USD and 500,000 UPEX in UPEX. Let's check out the leaderboard. And it's Ben 68 again with 325 properties. That's roughly 41% ownership. And the second one is not even close with just 28 properties. Ben is on fire, isn't he? Let's go, Ben. Number 6, Glenview. Not much to talk about Glenview right now. Both the building completion and the USD UPEX floor are pretty much the same. Besides Glenview, one thing you should look for is the Rego Park node by Loyal Doyle. He recently announced that he has big plans for the node, kind of looking at a racetrack as well. It's a large neighborhood with 3,200 properties. It's also a limited collection. So far, there are 28 constructed properties and another 61 in progress. The floor has been steady for a while now. You can get the properties for as cheap as $16 or 19,000 UPEX. Let's see the node leaderboard. Loyal Doyle owns 76 properties. That's roughly 2.3% ownership. Number 7, Hollywood. Not much has changed. I'm gonna skip this one for now. Number 8, Sherwood Forest. First of all, one of the node members, Doombot, told me that SSFTG is actually doing this for different charities. For this month, it's autism awareness. Next month, it could be something else. He's donating the funds from the USD sales to these local charities, which is really cool. Keep up the good work. The floor has stabilized at $43 and roughly 43,000 UPEX. Again, the entire market has slowed down. Let's see the leaderboard. So Noshik, SSFTG owns 35 properties. That's roughly 7% ownership. Number 9, Neponsit. The floor is stable at $33 or 33,000 UPEX. Invest for More is actively buying anything below 32,000 UPEX. So that's really good because it gives people the signal that you're in here for the long-term game. Let's look at the leaderboard. So Vegas 88 owns 55 properties. That's roughly 10% ownership. Invest for More is next with 22 properties. That's roughly 3.8% ownership. I think it was 20 properties till yesterday. Looks like he bought 2 more recently. It's really cool when the node founders or leaders gradually accumulate more and more properties over time. It kind of gives people the signal that yes, you're here for the long term and you're not just going to scam them. Second thing, when you own a lot of properties in the neighborhood, in the node, you can also conduct some sort of giveaways or incentive programs to give away a few properties to the node members to encourage them to take certain actions. You're not going to lose much when you just give away a small share, right? Number 10, Rancho Park. Not much to discuss here. Abdullah 86 SA owns 1,182 properties here, roughly 85% ownership. That's all. Finally, Boystown Chicago. The node that I'm actively building with a group of folks, including K Twice, TF Miria, Busterworth, Ragnar, Ice Lord, Big Nick, and Kevin the Man. These are the ones in the founding team. Let me get a list of the owners real quick. So we've got K Twice, TF Media, and Kevin the Man from the Upland Millionaires Group. Big Nick owns an NFLPA legit shop in Manhattan. That's me. George Hurst again owns a lot of properties here. Buster Worth, who doesn't know Buster Worth? Daddy LC is again very active in the community. Your Prince, I guess most of you know Your Prince, the person who owns the entire block in the city. Loki again owns five properties. Oh Helena, the fancy Drew detective. McCallie, also very active in Century Citizens and Beverlywood. Tosshead, he recognizes node potential real quick and is also a very active member of most of the very good nodes. Ichris is the creator of upexland.me, my favorite website. So I was very happy when he joined our node. Jocelyn, again, one of the active members. Ragnar, Parafi, More Cheese is from the UDU, that's Metaverse Ventures Entertainment. Loki Moody is the Ice Lord. 313 Grind, HK2K, Mosh 2022 Mochi, and Brownouts. Yes, that's all the members. If you are interested in talking to any of them, please do join the server. We generally have very active conversations here. Would love to have you as well. I'm very proud to say that the group owns 51% ownership. It was one of the milestones we wanted to achieve this week. So glad we did. While we continue to increase our ownership share, our next goal is to build more and more till the whole town lightens up. The last I checked, in this small neighborhood of 316 properties, there were 11 constructed properties and 38 still in construction. So our tiny goal right now is to get 10% completion in the next 1 week, and then we'll aim for 30% building completion. Since Boystown is nation's first officially recognized LGBTQ village, we're going to dedicate this one street, W. Alden Ave, to the LGBTQ community. We're going to build houses of different colors to kind of represent the rainbow. As we are open to anyone and everyone, no matter what your orientation is, which country you're from, which religion you follow, etc., etc., the rest of the neighborhood beyond the street, you can build houses of any color you like. Just that we prefer the larger structures compared to the smaller ones, as that will increase our neighborhood rating once the Upland releases it. Although you're still free to build a smaller structure if you want, we'll anyway try to help you when we're done with ours. Floor-wise, we're doing really well. The Boystown floor right now is 90,000 UPEX. It's generally stable at around 100,000 UPEX, so anything below that usually gets bought. You've already seen the node leaderboard, so I'm going to skip that. Lastly, if you own a Boystown property but aren't a part of the Discord server, you can find the Discord link in the description. That's all for this video. Please do let me know if you have any questions or comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.